Tooth and Claw, is it of value?
Spiky bits.
We are going to review the brand new Tooth and Claw starter box for Games Workshop's Warhammer 40k. Now, of course, they bill it as two armies clash in the 41st millennium. You've got the Genestealer Cult versus Space Wolves being the big new release here in August 2018. Now, if you flip this over, you can see all sorts of cool things right here, where it's got the miniatures that come in it all laid out. It's going to come with a little kind of fluff pamphlet on, you know, the scenario and where they're playing for and the stakes for these guys and all that cool fluff stuff. Then it's going to come with the two exclusive miniatures. You get the Abominate and the Primaris Battle Leader for the Wolfie side of things right there. And there's actually a whole new squad of aberrants in here too that we may see individually packaged when the Genestealer Cult come out, rumored around January or February. But until then, we've got this box, and of course it's a great way to pick up some of the new Primaris Duders or add to your Genestealer Cult. As I imagine most folks, I mean, they're still pretty good and they're doing well in tournaments right now on the 40k scene. But being able to scoop these guys up around the holidays, if these boxes are still around, is definitely going to be a boon. So $150 for this box, and it is going to include your 5 intercessor guys, your 3 aggressors, and remember, these are all the multi-part kits, none of that ETB stuff here. 1 sprue of the Space Wolf Primaris upgrades, which are the shoulder pads and such that you're going to see right there. The Primaris Redemptor Dreadnought, that big guy right there. The Cult Alkalite Icon Ward, the guy with the big wavy staff. The Banaweva, the Abominates, which is right there with the little duder next to him. The Aberrants, which are the new guys right here. 8 of the existing Genestealers. The 40-page Tooth and Claw rulebook. Fold-out core rule set right there. Transfer sheet. I guess you kind of don't need that, though. Maybe for some vehicle stuff up here. And the hybrid metamorphs themselves. So let's get this bad boy open and show you what comes in here and break down some values. Okay, so first up, we've got all sorts of sprues in here. Now, we have reviewed all the Primaris stuff already here on the channel, so if you want to check out these guys close up and see all the options, especially them for magnetizing, you can definitely do so by searching in the YouTube channel over there. So here's your aggressors. This is a multi-part kit. The intercessors going to come with all that cool hotness. You can customize out the bolters right here, the auto bolt rifles with the different magazines. You can make them a stalker pattern, all sorts of different cool stuff there. The Redemptor's a little bit bigger. That's these 2 sprues here, but bigger is better because it gives you all those options. This isn't that ETB one. You can actually build out all of the weapon options, and I don't think we magnetized this one, but it is very magnetizable. We didn't do a tutorial on it, but it is able to be done. I think we have one here in the studio that is magnetized. The new Aberrant sprue, and we're going to look at that a little bit more in depth. Then you've got your Primaris Battle Leader, your Abominates, your Icon Ward, which we've reviewed already, the new upgrade sprue, the 2 sprues existing Genestealers. These guys have been around for years. Where's the copyright on this one? Holy cow. 2004. Sounds about right. And the Acolytes right there. Once we get through all that, you got the nice little poster here that you can hang up if you want. All your bases and such are going to come in here. But maybe the thing that, oh, and here's a transfer sheet as well. So that'll help you with your vehicles. Definitely cool. Once you open this up, it comes with all sorts of packs of individual instructions. Now, I'm not sure why they did it this way. Maybe they're going to come out with these guys by themselves at some point for the individual instructions. This guy, of course, the Primaris Battle Leader, is pretty straightforward. It's in the codex. But you can kind of see sliced and diced, all computer style, very easy stuff right there. The Abominate, or the Icon Ward and Abominate. Alright, so they comboed it. And there he is right there. So again, a bunch of computer slices. We'll look at him in a second. All of the rest of your squads, Redemptor, Dreadnoughts, Intercessor, Aberrants, Space Wolves, everything right there. And then here is the Tooth and Claw, air quotes, rule book as well. It's going to have all your fluff, and then the rules on everything in here as well, and the Abominates. there's the abominate right there. And is there points values in here? Of course. Oh yeah, there you go. Cool. So they do have points values. Well, that's neat. So abominate is 80 points. Cool. Well, there it is right there. That's all the new stuff. The aberrants, of course, were in, well, we first saw them in the Deathwatch Overkill box, and they do have existing rules in the Genestealer Cult book, which is out, or the index, which is out right now. Of course, we'll see the codex here in a few months. Let's take a closer look at these sprues and start breaking down some values and look at the rest of this. And here's the 3 new sprues that come exclusively in this. Of course, we got the aberrants here too that we'll take a close look at. But so you got the battle leader here, and like we said, it's a bunch of slices. I really like how they did the backpack. Kind of harkens back to the older Gray Hunter and Bloodclaw pack right there. It used to be an option, but they just kind of sliced it, and you can see where the little thigh guards right there kind of go onto it. But looks like a clean assembly here. This arm is going to be separate, so that's kind of neat. Gives you some posability, maybe perhaps depending on what you want to put on there. Then on to the Space Wolf upgrade sprue. It's going to come with 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 shoulder pads. Kind of a weird number, but some of these are the aggressor ones right here. Then you've got 5. So those are your aggressors. Then you've got 5 of the intercessors, and I guess 1 for pack leader or something like that to put on the other shoulder. We'll have to look at the instructions here in a second and see what that has to say, because I do want to reference those before we talk about the aberrants. The pack leader also can be given a chain sword, so you can have +1 attack in addition to his already +1 attack. Remember, these shoulder pads are going to fit normal size Marines too. That was the whole deal with the Primaris, was that they fit the heads and the shoulder pads. Sometimes the arms are a little bit different, so you do want to test fit those before you go chopping arms off and doing arm swaps and things. And then the abominate is right here, and you can see he's very well detailed. Just got some ripped clothes and got the little duder on the base right there. It looks pretty cool. Some sort of shock thunder hammer maul thing looks pretty neat. He's definitely got a stupid face, that's for 100% sure. So far I'm liking all of this. And then here's the abominates, and let's take a look at the assembly instructions for them. Well, I'm glad we took a look at those instructions, because this is actually really cool, and it kind of explains why some people were complaining we didn't see the one model there. So there's 5 different models, and they can be assembled in 2 different types of poses, very similar to how the Necromunda stuff kind of works. So you've got Aberrant 1, and then you can kind of slice it in, holding different options depending on what set of arms you do and what like tertiary kind of set. Like this guy has an extra hand or an extra arm, and this one they're attached together there. So you might have parts left over, but they're not really left over because they can't really mate up to any torsos there. And then you can see the double-handed or the single-handed stuff. And then the hypermorph is the guy in the back here that had the street sign that we saw the preview of earlier in the year, and he also has the 2-handed weapon right there, which looks pretty cool. So I'm liking all of the different head options, 5 different head options it looks like. And I'm really liking that for most of them, and then there's 4 more. So you can really get some customizability and some posability here out of all these guys. I'm really digging that. So here's the sign that we saw earlier. I'm partial to that one, but it's really hard to believe that there's so many options on just this one sprue, isn't it? That's kind of crazy. Like, I really like how their technology has come along, and they're able to do all this, fit all those different heads on here and just kind of have that technology. So it looks like for the most part, the insides are going to be a little hollow, right? Because depending on which front halves you put on, and then that determines which arms, whether 2-handed weapons or stuff like that. So for the most part, I'm pretty impressed with how this goes together. You're probably going to want to use a plastic glue of some sort, so you can really get a nice seal and hide a lot of those mold lines and such, because that seems to be an issue. But they've gotten a lot better at hiding them too. So a lot of mold lines will be like in the crotches or underneath the armpits or something like that. But every now and then one creeps out, and you want to make sure you cover it up pretty good and use that gap filling glue. G-Dub's got their own plastic glue, or you can use the Tamiya extra thin cement. I actually prefer that Or if you're really having a hard time with it, the Vallejo plastic putty works pretty well too to fill in those gaps. This dries pretty quick and it's rock hard if you have any issues with that. All right, let's take a look at the value and get on. So over on the site, we did a breakdown about a week or so ago about the tooth and claw value. You can check that out, of course, on the site itself. However, we're just going to go over it real quick. So it's $150 for the box set itself. If you break it all down, estimate out the abominate at $35 because it is a special character, and you know it's not one of those that you have to take multiples of, like the Icon Ward, which is $25, which you can see right here. Then it definitely gives you an idea of where they might price it. It seems like G-Dub's always like $35. The aberrants themselves probably go for about $60 for the 5 of them. They are going secondary about $12.50 a piece on eBay right now. So just estimated prices right there. Hybrid Metamorphs for $40, Pure Strain Genestealers for $30. We know all that. So you're looking at about $190 in value, estimated value, of course. On the Spaceable side, that's pretty easy. Primaris Battle Leader, well, we know all the Primaris models are $35 for those multi-part kits. Not a big stretch of the imagination right there. The Aggressors are $50. The Intercessors are $35. The Redemptor is $65. So $185. Total savings between both of them is going to give you about $225 of value. You purchase this $150 set, you get $375 in value. So you're getting all of these models, assuming you don't get an additional discount from your friendly local game store or miniature market or wherever you might purchase your product. You're already getting at about a 60% discount, assuming, you know, a couple of estimations right there, which I think we could all pretty much get behind for the most part. If not, it only deviate by like 10 or $5 here, give or take. That I think we can all kind of agree with. This seems to be a very, very solid deal that we haven't seen in a couple of months for sure. I think the Forgebane one was pretty good as well. So overall, I think we can all agree the Tooth and Claw is definitely a value for consumers out there. Even if you don't play Space Wolves, you can still pick these guys up and get all those sweet, sweet Primaris Marines. Just don't use the upgrade sprue. Oh, speaking of which, I don't even think we put the upgrade sprue in our estimate there, to be quite honest. So that's actually an extra $12.50 value. So we're already in the plus column, assuming some of those values don't deviate on the Battle Leader, the Abominate, and the Aberrants themselves. So it gives us a little money in the bank, so to speak, on the values there. Either way, I think we can all agree, solid value for $150 retail right there. So thanks for checking out the new Tooth and Claw box set with us here today. If you like these type of product reviews and unboxings, please make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you can be the very first to like and comment on all our videos.